What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this week's video highlights. Thank you so much for joining us. In this week's episode, I've got Tony Enwezor. He's going to be joining us from London to talk about goal setting, about his personal training business, about entrepreneurship, about taking action. And so I'm excited to share this conversation with you guys. Before we get started with the video highlights, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Taking a Breath Podcast. And if you haven't subscribed on a podcasting platform, make sure to do that as well. Hope you enjoy.
The question I had with that was, for you, when people, and I know you mentioned like constantly revisiting it, like if people are working towards something right now, but are really feeling like the burnout, or are like, oh my gosh, like I don't think I'm going to be able to make it, or I don't know if I'm still as motivated as I would, from your perspective for leaders, like how can we really fight the burnout or like the giving up on our goals?
So I was listening to, I listened to a lot of motivational speeches, a lot. And I heard something that I heard someone, I can't remember who said it, but I heard someone say, when it comes to motivation, you think about it, but you need to put it to the side. The one thing that should keep you going, that stops you from getting burnt out, is discipline. Having a lot of discipline and having that work ethic. So what you need to do is discipline yourself to follow a routine. Successful people, the only way that they keep doing what they're doing is by having a routine, right? They need to have a routine. They need to discipline themselves to make sure that they complete that task all the time. And the more they do that, the more they stick to it. The more they do that, the more it becomes a habit. Motivation is out the window. They do it because they have to do it.
Wow. Yeah. That's good. And the balance, like setting those habits. I think that's interesting. Like, and I have heard that a lot as well, of like, if you have the habits of successful people, you're setting yourself up on a daily, a weekly basis for success. What are some things that you're prioritizing? Working out, obviously, right? Being in the gym. What are other things that you prioritize in your life to see those, to see that growth and success in terms of habits?
So every day I always think, what do I need to do to get better? What do I need to do to always just progress every day? For me, what do I prioritize? Training is always a priority. Looking after my health is a priority, because for my role, I'm always active. I always have to train people. I'm always moving. So if I don't look after myself, if I don't make sure that I'm resting enough, if I don't make sure that I'm sort of fit and healthy, then I can't do the job that I need to do. I need to make sure that my health is good. So my health is 100% priority, which is why I train myself first before anyone else. A lot of people think, fair enough, your client is number one, but you should still be number one, because if you're not looking after yourself, how can you look after your clients?
Right. Yeah. 100%. And there are like, people talk about that in terms of like mental health, like making sure, I know one of your good friends, Godfrey, right, was like, is a big advocate, mental health, like taking care of yourself, taking care of, like, and especially, prioritizing that, because, and a few of my guests have talked about it, like if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of the people around you. You can't progress towards your goals. It's Jacob Miles was talking about it on a recent episode of like the Wi-Fi symbol. Your Wi-Fi, right, is like, this is you. If your Wi-Fi signal personally is strong, then you can take on those around you. And then, it's kind of that analogy. And I really like
everything
that.
Everything that comes out of you starts from within, basically. It all 100%. Starts from within.
Yeah. And I think it's good, for listeners right now, maybe they're not as like specifically gym focused, right? Or specifically, right. But I think that for anyone, right, who's interested in leadership growth, it's really about figuring out what that area of your life is that you really want to put in the work to develop. And I think for everyone, it's important to be healthy, take care of yourself. All those core things are important for everybody. And then from there, it's like, so for me, I'm interested in leadership, sharing, creating relationships, meeting new people. Those are the things I'm prioritizing, right? Versus
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like you've got it. Those things, regardless of whether you're in fitness, anything, those are the things you also need to prioritize, because as someone said, your network is your net worth. Yeah, that's the one. So you've always got to meet new people. That was a tongue twister.
I love it.
You've always got to be meeting new people because you never know what someone can do for you, sort of thing. You never know who you can meet that can sort of help you progress, or who can be your next partner in terms of like business-wise, getting you new business. You've always got to put those things first as well. You've also got to prioritize those, whether you're in fitness or not. Those need to be number one.
I was talking to a good friend of mine this week, and he was telling me about how he went into an internship this past year and was really thinking about it in terms of like, what can I bring to them? Like, oh, and talking about his value, especially like, oh, you know, I can bring all this value, all this type of stuff. And he was like, but really, like, I was thinking about it wrong because I was putting a lot of expectation on myself versus just being there to create value, right? To bring what you can to the table and to be able to learn. That was a big thing. He was like, oh my gosh, like I really lost sight of realizing that I need to be a lifelong learner. And to me, that's been something that this has really been a chance to facilitate conversation so that every single episode, I take away something new. I get to talk to people from all different backgrounds, all different platforms. It's incredible. For you, you know, one of my questions, and I know I had mentioned this, we had talked a little bit about it on the episode that we did together last week, was, you know, what would your advice be to young leaders who want to see personal growth? They're ready to really own their growth. What would your kind of thought to them be?
You've got to be 100% sure about it. If you want to grow, you've got to tell yourself, I need to put in the work. Because a lot of people say they want to go to heaven, but no one's willing to die, right? That's one way to put it. A lot of people say they want to lose weight, get fit, but none of them want to put in the work. A lot of people say they want to grow a business, become someone great, know a lot of people, but they're not willing to go out there and reach out to a lot of people. So be prepared to put in the work, because I'm not going to BS anyone. It's going to be tough. You've got to be ready to put in the work. You've got to have work in that mental toughness. And by mental toughness, I mean doing what you say you're actually going to do. So when you set yourself a list of things to do, say to yourself, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get it done, and I'm going to do it to the best. You always have to have that progressive mindset thinking, what do I need to do to get better? What do I need to do to get better? Always, all the time. Always, all the time. It's just about putting in the work, putting in that next level work. And I say this all the time to people, put that next level work to get that next level result. If you're not putting in that next level work, you're not going to get that next level result.
Oh my gosh.
If you like what you saw in today's video, make sure to subscribe and like for more content weekly here on Taking a Breath.